Galileo Galilei, the man who changed the way we see the universe. Who was Galileo Galilei? Galileo Galilei was an Italian scientist, astronomer, and inventor born on February 15, 1564, in Pisa, Italy. He is famous for improving the telescope and making discoveries that changed the way people understood space, the earth, and the stars. As a young boy, Galileo was very curious about how things worked. He loved maths and science, and even though his father wanted him to become a doctor, he was more interested in how objects moved and how the stars shined in the sky. One day, when he was a student at the University of Pisa, he watched a lamp swinging in the air and noticed that he took the same amount of time for each swing, no matter how big or small. This idea later helped in the invention of clocks. Galileo and his telescope. Galileo didn't invent the telescope, but he made it much better. Instead of just making faraway things look a little closer, his telescope could zoom in and show details that no one had ever seen before. When he pointed his telescope at the moon, he saw that it wasn't smooth like people thought. It had craters and mountains. When he looked at Jupiter, he discovered four small moons orbiting it. These are now called the Galilean moons: Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. This was a huge discovery because it proved that not everything revolves around the Earth. Galileo invents the thermometer. Did you know Galileo also helped inventing a thermometer? Around year 1593, he created a device called a thermoscope. It wasn't exactly like today's thermometers, but it was one of the first tools used to measure temperature changes. How did it work? His thermoscope used a glass tube with water or alcohol inside. As the temperature changed, the liquid moved up or down in the tube. This showed whether it was getting hotter or colder. This invention was an important step in modern temperature measurement. Scientists later improved it and added a scale to turn it into the thermometers we use today. The Big Trouble, Galileo and the Church. In Galileo's time, most people believed that the Earth was the center of the universe and the Sun and all the planets revolved around it. This was called the geocentric model. But Galileo supported the idea that the Sun was actually at the center and the Earth and other planets orbited around it. This made some powerful people very angry, especially leaders in the Catholic Church, because it went against their teachings. In 1633, Galileo was put on trial and forced to say that he was wrong, even though he knew he was right. He was kept under house arrest for the rest of his life. Legend says that after he was forced to say the earth didn't move, Galileo whispered under his breath, "Eppure se muove," and yet it moves. This meant that, no matter what people said, the earth still orbited the sun. Even though he got into trouble, Galileo's discoveries helped future scientists like Isaac Newton understand gravity and motion. Today, NASA even named a spacecraft after him, the Galileo probe, which was sent to study Jupiter. Fun facts for kids. Galileo's thermometer worked without mercury. It used air and water to show temperature changes, making it one of the first tools to help people understand hot and cold scientifically. Thanks to Galileo, we now know that the Earth orbits the Sun, not the other way around. The Moon has mountains and craters. Jupiter has moons that orbit it. Science should be based on evidence, not just what people believe. His thermometers idea led to modern temperature measurement.